So we're about to turn the heel, and the heel turning on these little looms is actually pretty easy to think about, and it actually gets a lot quicker the closer you get. So we're gonna start at the top here, and then we're going to get more narrow, and then we're gonna get to a certain point where it's a stopping point, so we don't finish until there's one. There's just a few left, and then what we do is we expand out. When you go to expand back out, you're actually attaching this here to here, and it's naturally happening so that you end up having the pucker of the heel. So it's actually really quite easy, but the fact is that we need to get ourselves started, and so you want to leave the last 7 untouched. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and this is where I want you to stop knitting at this moment. At this point here, I want you to grab a spare piece of string, and I want you just to figure out a way. If you're not a crocheter, you might not have a hook, but get an idea of putting in a stitch marker. So just looping it through, and what we want to do is we want to wrap it around that particular peg. So this will be the absolute maximum of the heel width is right here, and we're going to cut this off later, but I want you just to kind of tie a knot, and don't knit this into your project. We're going to be cutting this off after we're done the heel. Now we have to go back to the other side. So we have 7 on this side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now you want the next 7 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So right here I'm just gonna move this one up so I can see it. I want to put another stitch marker there. So we're now going to go back to the instruction, and now you can see that it's halfway across. So the heel is going to work its way through these set of 14 pegs, but before we actually start to begin, we have to finish off the first row, and we already have it partially started, so we're gonna have to rewrap here and continue along. So this one is actually already knit, so we want to start with the next one like we normally would and go all the way to the one that's marked. So let's officially begin. If you're working on the Christmas stocking, we're going to start right here. It says start the heel color 7th before the end of the round, which we are doing, okay, because we stopped 7 early, and you will not be circling the loom. So this is how you create a flat panel on a loom. That's the way that we're about to do it. So what we have to do is that we have to wrap the remaining to get ourselves to the 14th peg. So the 7th before and then the 7th after. So let's officially begin, and then I'm going to be working my way sequentially through these instructions. So we have to finish the next row. So because we stopped the 7th before, I want to do this. Remember when we go to start pulling off, we always knit the last one. So that one's already done. So we want to officially start in the next one and go to all the way to the 1. It's the 7th one away, and it's already been marked with the stitch marker. Hopefully you've done that. It will help you a lot. So once you get to the very last one, you're going to wrap around, and then that's it. Okay, so that's the one that's marked. So you're officially going to knit that, and now you're going to go back through this and knit all the way back to the one that's marked here. So do that, and this is going to complete the next row, and then we'll move on to the next row after that as we turn the heel. So as we begin right where we marked with the stitch marker, that's where we are. So this is how you do a flat panel on a loom, on a round loom. So now you're just gonna go back in the opposite direction. You're still E-wrapping, but now you're going to go in the other direction from what you've been doing, and you're gonna go in this round, or sorry, in this row all the way then to where the stitch marker is marked. So it's technically the next 13. So you don't count that very first one that goes out when we started. Okay, so this will take you right to the end. Okay, so it's the one that's marked to make it easier for you. Then I want you to knit that one and then carry on and knit the rest, and then we'll pick up and check this off on your list. Okay, so we're going to begin the next one, and now we're only going to wrap the next 12. So right, we're sitting here, and so we're going to start and go 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And do you notice that the next one is the one that's marked with the stitch marker, but you're ending one early, which is gonna start shaping us. So we're gonna knit that and then knit the rest and then come right back, and we'll check that off on our list. So let's see you back here in a second. Okay, let's start. And so we're sitting right here. So we're going to start in the next one and do only the next 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And you notice where the stitch marker is, so you're not going all the way there, which is perfect. That's the first one you're gonna knit, and then knit the rest, and be right back in just a moment. We'll carry on. So check number 11 off on your list. Okay, right where we're sitting, start wrapping the next one, and now we only want to do the next 10. So 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and you notice where the stitch marker is, so you're getting smaller, which is good. And knit that one plus all the rest, and check off number 10 off your list. Okay, right where you're sitting and you have everything knitted, you're only gonna do the next 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So knit that one, and then check off number and then all the rest, and then check that off on your list. This is number 9. Let's continue then, and we're going to start, and we're going to do 8, and you're going to notice that it's going to be starting to grow on just this side of the loom only. So you notice that it doesn't look in balance anymore because we're turning the heel. So starting in the next one, you're only going to wrap the next 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Knit that one, all the rest, and check off number 8 off your list. Let's begin again, and let's wrap in the other direction, and we're only going to do 7 this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it's getting faster. Knit the last one, and then all the rest, and then check off number 7 off of your list. Right where you're sitting, you're going to go back in the other direction and wrap only 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Knit that last one, and then the rest. Check off number 6. Right where you're sitting, you want to go back in the opposite direction and only want to do 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Knit that last one, and then check off number 5. So knit the rest of them as well, and check off number 5 off your list. And let's flip the page to page number 2. Right where we're sitting, we're going to wrap only the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is the final decrease. So then knit that last one, and then we'll discuss. And now we're gonna start getting bigger. So this is the smallest part of the heel, and I'll be right back in just a second. So right now we're at the point where the smallest, we only have 4 pegs that are actually in use, and the heel has been officially turned here on this side. And you can actually see it on the inside because it doesn't look even. So now we're going to get bigger, and as we're picking it up, remember what I explained is that we were gonna get bigger, and so as we get bigger we're going to be picking up the stitches here. So right when the ones that are kind of holding and waiting, as you're getting bigger you're kind of picking those up naturally as you go. So let's officially then begin and start increasing on this part of the project. So let's begin the next row. To begin increasing, we're going to start and we're going to wrap the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so you're gonna knit that last one. So this one was left behind a few few rows ago. So we're just gonna pick that up and throw that over, which then brings it back into the fold, and then you'll knit the rest. And so then you can check off number 5 off your list on the decrease, or sorry, on the increase part. And let's begin to do the next section in just a second. So let's begin again right where we're sitting. We're going to wrap the next 6. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so this one here was left behind a few rows ago, so that one comes back in the fold, and then you're gonna pick up the remaining, and then I'll meet you back in a second and check off number 6 for the increase, and I'll be right back in a second. Right where you're sitting you want to wrap the next 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and knit, and be right back and check off number 7 off of your list. Right where you're sitting you now want to wrap the next 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and knit that 8th one, and then the rest. I'll be right back and check off number 8 for your increase, and I'll see you in a second. right where you're sitting you want to wrap the next 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and then knit that last one and then check off, and then the rest, and then check out number 9 off of your list. Right where you're sitting you want to wrap the next 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and then knit that one and be right back in just a moment. Okay, right where you're sitting you want to wrap the next 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, and then knit that one and all the rest, and then check number 11 off of your list. Right where you're sitting you want to wrap the next 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Knit that last one plus all the rest and check off number 12 off of your list. So right where you're sitting you want to do the next 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, and then knit that one and then be right back in just a second. And I do realize that it's past that, so it's just in case you leave a comment about that, because we're pretty much almost done at this point. Okay, so now we're done. So now what we have to do is that we have to knit ourselves back to where we normally would have been, is if we were restarting a new round. So just get yourself back to the starting point, which would be here, and so then knit that plus done all the rest, and then we're going to reset and then start and do the instepped area in just a moment. So just knit these and I'll be right back in a second. So at this point the heel's been officially turned. You can see it on the back side here, right there. Do you see how it's somewhat open? You can just use a strand of the same color just to pull it more shut. It naturally does that. So if you think that you're screwing it up at any point, that's just natural. So I've officially just got everything onto that ending strand, and I'm just going to take out the needle now and I'm just going to pull the loom off. So let's put that aside. So what we're going to do is that we are going to pull this shut, but I want to access this first. So I'm going to turn this inside out, the whole thing, so that you can see where those spaces are. Okay, so we can clearly see that. So I'm going to grab some spare yarn then from the ball, and I'm gonna do both sides and just create a slip knot on the one side. It just becomes easier to secure that in. And where is my needle? Okay, so my needle is on the floor. So I'm just going to put this through the eye of the needle. Okay, the other side, so the slip knot's on the other side, and starting from where you start seeing it open, just stay on the strands on the underside. So don't go through all the way through. Okay, so just grab the strands that you can see and just bridge them across and put that slip knot onto the needle. So when you go to pull it, that slip knot will grab onto itself and pull itself shut, and it will lock like that. So working down, just going on one side to the other, just bridge it across. This is actually probably called whip stitching. So you're not changing the shape, you're just pulling things closed. And when you do that, make sure when you pull it closed it looks like it's being pulled closed as well. And what I mean by that is, just if you're just grabbing onto strands and it doesn't look like it's pulling shut, then you may be grabbing onto the wrong one. So work your way to where that issue stops, and then you can re-examine this. So when I started today's tutorial I knew this was gonna happen. But when I started loom knitting back in 2009 I was having this. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And it's just because you have to abandon your loops to make this heel, and those abandonment creates this space. And technically it's in your socks too, but because the yarn is so, or the material is so small, it's just you never see it. So when you're satisfied with pulling it shut, then you're just going to create a little tie. So just kind of look at it and see if it makes sense, and if you have to then just, you know, fix it, then you have to fix it, right? So in this case I think I just have to go back and address that. So instead of just fastening off and restarting, I'm just gonna travel up through the stitch work I just did. Again, I just want to stay on the inside of the sock or stocking. So I'm using the same strand, and I just want to kind of just pull this shut too. So I'm gonna do this for both sides so that I end up with a nice clean finish, and then I want to just weave in my tail that I started with. And to ultimately weave in your tails, see, done. So to ultimately weave in your tails you just want to tie a knot first. So just tie it onto each other, and then you're gonna go back and forth through the fibers of this side of the project. So just glide it through, don't go too deep, don't go all the way through, and glide it back and forth a total of 3 times. And you're gonna do that for your starting one as well. And then just trim it. So then here, because it's already a knot, this piece here, because it's already a knot, it's not gonna weasel its way out. So it's just going to just travel it underneath some stitch work. Just stay on this side of the project as well. And you just want to drag it so the tail just kind of tucks into itself. And ultimately it's better to go back and forth 3 times, but in this case for this application once is probably good. So you can see that I sealed it, and the other side I just have to do the same. And you can turn it inside, or you can turn it the other way just to check your work if you care.